Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 7 steps to starting your medical exercise training practice in any setting. This is step number 5, and this step involves making the presentation. Now, I know most of you are definitely afraid of the idea of making the presentation. With all of our medical exercise specialist workshops, toward the end of the second day, I'll always ask the participants how many of them have communicated directly with a doctor, therapist, or chiropractor that is the primary medical professional or the medical professional of record in their folders and documentation for a client they've produced a successful outcome with. The overwhelming response is no hands go up, because there's a huge concern about communicating and or presenting to medical professionals. So this step number 5, is going to talk about make the presentation. Remember, folks, when you're making this presentation, you're not trying to impress the doctor, therapist, or chiropractor with your background, your certifications. It's really about telling them what outcomes and how you'll manage and how you'll communicate with them with clients that are referred by the doctor, therapist, or chiropractor. So folks, first thing is, let's do lunch. Now, as many of you know, I have a background as a physical therapist. I actually stopped practicing a number of years ago. We now live in Houston, Texas, and I'm doing a lot of marketing for a medical exercise training program here we have in Houston, Medical Fitness Pros. In the early days of our program here, and we've been here now for going on 7 years, I would go out and do a lot of the marketing for the facility. And I wouldn't market that I was a physical therapist. It was just simply going out and talking to physicians about the importance and the role medical exercise training could play in managing those individuals or patients in their practice that had chronic medical disorders. And folks, almost always, I did lunch. I actually found a local restaurant that would cater lunch for us, and they would either deliver the lunch at the doctor's office, or I would pick it up and take it over, depending upon the number of individuals we had to feed. And some of you may say, well, Dr. Mike, that's pretty expensive. Yes, it is. But the one thing you do find, and I found this when I was practicing physical therapist as a private practitioner, when a vendor brought lunch in, 9 times out of 10, you were going to get my undivided attention for anywhere from 10 to maybe 20 minutes. And you also got the undivided attention of my office manager for even longer. Because normally I would finish up with a patient, I would get into the lunch late, and then I would have to leave early because I had to make a phone call or do something else with a patient. But getting in front of the staff members, the practitioner, but also the office manager is vitally important. So doing that, offering that lunch, providing that lunch, doing that lunch, folks, let's say you do a $60 lunch for 3 or 4 people. How much is the lifetime value of a referral from a doctor, therapist, or chiropractor to your practice? So they refer one client that maybe you see 9 visits. If you're charging $50, and hopefully you're charging more, it's going to be more than worth it. So in this presentation, when you're thinking about doing this presentation, think about a review of the clients you have in common with that doctor, therapist, or chiropractor you're doing the presentation to. Folks, let me tell you, if you've had any success with a client with obesity, or that is obese, I should say, hypertension, diabetes, arthritis, back pain, if you've had any success with them and they've ever gone back to the doctor for a follow-up visit during the period of time you've worked with them, I guarantee you they've told the doctor, therapist, or chiropractor about the great things you're doing. Now, they probably aren't very accurate with regard to the exercise and the sequence and the dosage, but they've said, hey, Joe's done a great job with me. Start in your presentation with common clients that you and the medical professional are sharing. Okay? They'll know about those automatically, and they can now give you credibility, or you gain credibility based on the outcomes, the positive outcomes they see with those clients. So it's about your outcomes. It's about communication. It's about your program design. It's not about your certification. It's not. No way, shape, or form. Medical professionals don't care about your certifications. They don't know about them. They do know the outcomes that you're going to provide to clients or their patients. They do know they want you to communicate with them so that, especially when clients have follow-up visits, you've provided some level of documentation to tell the medical professional if the exercise program is effective, if it's not effective, if there are any recommendations that you have for modifications in the exercise program. And they want your program designs to produce positive outcomes. Folks, it is not about your certifications. It is all about outcomes, communication, and program design. That's what it's all about. They could care less. They don't know about your certifications one bit. And when you look up on their wall and you see all those certificates up there, I probably bet a lot of them you can't decipher, because I've been in a lot of doctors' offices and I can't decipher them. You go to the doctor because of the outcomes they give you, and that's the same reason why they're going to refer to you. Can you produce outcomes for their patients / clients? So with that, don't forget to go over to postrehab.com. Check out our medical exercise program director, our medical exercise specialist, and our post-rehab conditioning specialist certifications. Also, you'll be able to get information there on our PREPS post-rehab protocols, as well as our medical exercise specialist study group and our ongoing on-site workshops. They start again in September of 2018 and go through December of 2018. So thanks again for listening. We'll be back for step number 6. And if you like to get the ebook, the 7 steps to building your medical exercise training practice in any setting, please look at the link below this video. You'll be able to click there and go to a page where you'll be able to download the ebook. Thanks again. All the best in building your medical exercise training practice.